Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2020 Ford Mustang GT California Special, also known as the GT CS. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with this Mustang. Check out the inventory and link below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood of the California Special, we have the naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 460 horsepower and then 420 pound-feet of torque. And notice that the bracing right here has the California Special logo on it. I think that is pretty cool, but that's under the hood. Let's go over the front end of the California Special. So first off, you still get the same GT hood with the cool accent pieces on either side, and then the full LED lights with the fish gill accent lights, and then down below here with the turn signal. Notice that we do have a special logo there for the Mustang logo. Still got the really aggressive front splitter here. And well, other than that, that is everything for the front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 55mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then notice that we get these special wheels for the California Special. Haha, see what I did there? But anyways, pretty cool design there, and just look how big the rotor is for the front brakes with this car. Obviously you need quite a bit of stopping power considering this is a GT. And then notice we have our GT/CS logo here, and then how it kind of fades there into the side venting, which is kind of another special part of this package. And then we've got our side skirt right there. And other than that, here is your full side view. Now popping here into the trunk area of the California Special is just like any other Mustang from a storage space perspective. Definitely looks cool right there. And popping under here, notice we do have a fix-a-flat kit, so no spare tire or anything like that. And well, that's everything for the trunk area, so there you go. Now finishing things here in the rear, we have this lower profile spoiler here on the back. We've got our GT and then our California Special logo with the sequential LEDs. And then we've got the parking sensors just down below. And then you guys can see the exhaust tips right there. Definitely have a cool look to them. And then with the rest of the diffuser, definitely looks nice and aggressive. And other than that, there's the back end. Now here's a door panel in the front. So notice that we've got this Alcantara here with the red stitching that goes throughout, and then we've got the leather just down below. This does come with memory seats, and then you've got your window controls right here. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, you've got that red stitching. Notice it has the GT/CS logo, and then you've got the Alcantara in the center with the red stitching. And then if you guys are wondering here on the back seat, I'll just kind of move this forward so you guys can see that a little bit better. But coming here to the back seats, similar design. So you've got the Alcantara in the center with the leather on the outside, and then the red stitching again with all of that. So pretty similar look. And then you guys know Mustang seats, you don't really fit anyone there in the back. I mean, no legs. And then also there's like no headroom. But anyways, well, there's that part. Now here is the steering wheel with the California Special. So we've got leather wrapped around the entire steering wheel. We've got those paddle shifters in the back for that 10-speed automatic. Voice command controls over here with the phone controls down below, and then cruise control on the other side with the volume controls. Got the stock there for the turn signal, windshield wipers, and well, that's all for the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster with the California Special. First off, we're gonna go over the steering modes and the drive modes. We have our comfort, normal, and then our sport steering that you can go through. And then with the drive modes, we've got our normal, we've got our sport plus, and then notice how it changes the gauge cluster. And we have our track mode, which changes the gauge cluster again, pretty cool. We have our drag strip mode, right? And it says track use only, haha, hint, hint, wink, wink. And then you've got your snow mode, and then all the way back to normal for the different drive modes. And well, that's that part of the gauge cluster. Now, as for the rest, obviously it's a full screen unit, and then there's a couple different screens you can scroll through here in the center. So like we can see fuel economy, for example, 16.7 miles per gallon. Not too bad for a muscle car, but we can actually kind of go out of that menu right there. You can see like tire pressure, all that kind of stuff, but just basic bits of vehicle information. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we've got the backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And then you've got that zoom function right there with the camera. And And then taking it out, you guys can see this has Ford's kind of like newer-ish units of their touchscreen. Obviously they have the bigger ones now in like the new F-150s, but this has a similar response time, just not as large, so it still feels nice and modern overall. And then I do want to mention circular vents at the top, and then also Bang & Olufsen sound system sounds great. Volume controls right here. We've got our dual zone climate controls, and then you've got our heated and cooled seats. Engine stop start button right here, and then we've got all these switches here for like the hazard lights, stability control, steering modes, and then also for the drive modes. And then notice that we have the shifter here for that 10-speed automatic, and then we have that S mode. Got the brake right here, a couple cup holders, more red stitching here on the center console. And then, coming to the glove box, pretty normal. Notice that we have our Mustang California Special logo right there, which is pretty cool. And then red stitching here on the dash. And then as for the top here, it's pretty normal. You've got the lights up here, all black headliner. You've got the controls for the garage door opener, and yeah, that's all. Well, now that we've gone over this California Special, let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the California Special. So there's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, they do have blind spot monitoring. And then throughout the rest of the rear, let's set off. So setting off here in the GT California Special, and we'll just kind of lightly get into it here. Always gotta love the sound of a Mustang GT. Just sounds fantastic. Has so much torque as well. Just always a fun experience. But I'm gonna pop it over into the S mode, and then also gonna pop it into the Sport Plus mode as well. Yeah, turning's great. Yeah, I forgot how well the Mustang handled. I haven't driven one of these in quite some time. I think it's been it's been almost a year probably since I've driven a Mustang. It's been quite a bit of time, but yeah, it's definitely a great handling car. But I mean, on road, it's actually still really smooth, really comfortable, compliant from a suspension standpoint. 10-speed automatic's great. Oh, that V8 sound. Gotta love it. So many gears to go through though with that 10-speed automatic. It's great though, because it obviously helps with getting better fuel economy, and it actually helps with the acceleration quite a bit too. But yeah, definitely a lot. But I mean, I'm not gonna complain about having more downshifts when they sound that good. Yeah, that's just so nice. Let's kind of talk about the other stuff here with the Mustang. So in terms of comfort with this car, the seats pretty comfortable. They're definitely more on the firm side. And in terms of the bolstering on the seats themselves, the bolsters are actually pretty wide. So if you're a bigger person, you'll be able to fit in these seats very comfortably. And then I definitely like the air conditioned seat function, keeping me cool when it's 91 degrees outside, so that's definitely a huge plus. The steering's also something that's pretty interesting from a comfort standpoint. So in this Sport Plus mode, the steering's heavier, but when you have it in the comfort mode, it's a lot lighter. So it pretty much just drives like any other car when you're just in the normal mode going around, but it obviously sounds significantly better than most other cars out there. Now, what's interesting about this 10-speed automatic is you can definitely tell that when you're not going crazy into the throttle, they kind of make the gear shift slow down a little bit so that it smooths everything out, which again kind of goes more towards the luxury side. Downshifts are always super snappy though, which is fun, especially at higher RPMs. Then they're really snappy. Something I've noticed with this transmission is second gear. At most cars, they usually don't like you to go into first gear when you're moving. This car, it's second and first gear, just so you guys can kind of know on that part. But we'll kind of get into the throttle again a little bit more here. And don't worry, we'll get a real acceleration up here in a moment. I love that sound. You really can't beat the sound of a GT Mustang. It just sounds so muscular. But we will kind of downshift a couple gears here. It's quick, obviously. Sounds great too. Man, that soundtrack, again, when you get up into those higher RPMs, that sounds sounds so cool, and it really is quick. Like, this is more than enough power. Like, it throws you back a little bit, but it's also usable. You can actually use the power. Some of these muscle cars nowadays, you can't really use the power because they've got too much, but this is still usable, which is great. And let's get into signing things up here with this California Special. So it's mostly exterior aesthetics, right, and some interior aesthetics as well. Are the looks worth it? And you know, I think it just depends, right? This kind of has more of a serious muscle car look to it, and so if you want that kind of aesthetic with the Mustang, then I definitely think that this is worth it. But if you want something that is not as flashy, right, then this package might not necessarily be worth it. I definitely like the venting on the little venting on the side, because it kind of pays homage to the last generation of Mustang that was kind of more of a muscle car from the aesthetic perspective, right, like a 2014, for example. But yeah, overall, I think the California package looks great. I think the looks are worth it, but if you don't want something that's as flashy, I guess, then probably go for another package. Now let's get into sum things up for our video going over this 2020 Ford Mustang GT California Special. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with the car. Check out the inventory and link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.